All right, here we go. So, oh, Maureen and Ed joined us.
Hi.
Hello, Maureen and
Here.
Ed,
Hey.
down in the Carolinas. So, okay, go ahead.
All right, so I want to remind everyone that we have a community Facebook page where you can join us and ask questions. We share our food and it's a good community, the no judgment zone. We like to be just open and honest with everyone. Excuse me. Gift certificates. If you need gifts all year round, we have gift certificates. If you don't know what to buy someone, or you know that someone wants to buy you something, tell them that you need an alternative health gift certificates. You can get them on our website or you can call the office and we will take care of that for them. Right now, John's December special is going on. So anyone that signs on to a structured program, that's 30 days or longer, he's giving 10% off. You don't have to start it now. You can start it after the first of the year when you are ready. Although we did have someone sign up last week and she's like, nope, I'm starting now. We have someone else starting on December 25th, Christmas Day. So our next Zoom call will be Friday, January 19th. Topic is unknown at this point. If
Yes,
you
I know the
have,
topic.
you know the topic?
I know the topic.
Oh, John's going to share.
Yes, the topic is how emotions affect our physical health.
Oh, good one.
And the presenter is going to be Dr. Linda Nelson.
Oh, wow.
She's going to sign on and she's going to talk about it. And she was going to do it this month, but she's traveling. She's got a niece getting married. I believe this weekend, so she wasn't able to do it this time, but so Dr. Nelson will be on and again, talking about how emotions affect our physical health and what the relationship is back and forth. So I always love to have her on board because she's a wealth of knowledge and she's just a special lady. Okay.
She sure is. Oh, that's
okay.
great.
I kept that as a secret.
Yes, you did.
So,
All right, good. So
Hello, Suzanne.
mark your calendars for that one.
Yep, January 19th.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right.
What else do you have?
That's all. Oh, wait, no, I do have one other thing. I forgot to put on here. So we had emailed out, some of you are already utilizing it. We are offering meal plans now. The foods that you like, we will create a meal plan for you. We can do a week's worth for $25 or a month's worth for $75. Could be for one people, two persons, if that makes sense. Wow. For one or two people. We can base it on also on your calorie intake. So if you're wanting to lose more weight, your calorie intake is high, we can adjust that. But it's based on the foods that you like, mostly off of our legal foods list. So if you want to find out more about that, give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll talk to you about it.
But the other thing though, that you want to know what it includes, not only is it a meal plan, but it also tells you a shopping list for that week, what you would need, so that when you shop, you know. It also tells you how to prepare the meals, okay, kind of recipes, that type of thing. So it's not just a meal plan, so it's more in depth. And I invested in it because a lot of people struggle with variety, ideas. They get tired of the same foods and stuff like that. So we tried to mix it up and try to do something to help clients figure out what is best to eat and that type of thing. So, but that's, I just wanted to share that additional, what Patty mentioned.
Yes.
And I knew she was going to say it, but I just wanted to talk. Okay. Is Anna?
Oh, Anna.
Okay.
Okay, Anna.
Okay, so
Oh, sorry.
we just had a client was gonna sign on. She just messaged that her friend's husband passed away and she has to go. So everybody would say a prayer for that person. Her name is Anna, for her and her friend and family. Okay. All right, so let's move on. What I'd like to do today is talk about things in general. I hope I get some feedback and some thoughts tonight because I really want to talk about things that tonight about what everybody deals with during this time of year. Not everybody celebrates per se the holidays, and that's perfectly fine, but there's always things around us that are going on, and it has a tendency to affect our health, our well-being, etc. And a lot of times people say, okay, the new year is coming, happy new year, and that's wonderful. But we all have a tendency to make New Year's resolutions, okay? And I don't necessarily believe in that. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe in day-to-day resolutions. Okay, what do we do today to make our life better? Why wait until the first of the year to decide that we want to be better in any capacity of our life, whether it's our health, whether it's our relationships, whether it's our financial status, et cetera, whatever it might be. Why do we wait and say, okay, I'm gonna make a resolution? So I kind of want to talk about things that we might want to be thinking about, but I want to really start out by asking everybody a question. Some people can respond. If you want a message, you can. You want to come off of mute and say something, that's fine. Interrupt, it doesn't matter. But I want you really to ask you a question. When it comes to your well-being, your health, what are your thoughts about, number one, where are you now in your own mind? Where are you? Number two, where do you want to be? And going into next year, where do you want to be next year? How do you want 2024 to be for you when it comes to health and well-being? And the reason I'm asking those questions is because if you're not on top of your game right now, it's time to get on top of it. If you're waiting around and saying, I'm going to wait, I would ask why. And if you're saying that, next year is going to be the same as this year, what's the point? Then we need to talk because our mind takes us the direction we are going to go. And if we don't think we can be well next year, we're not going to be, and we're just going to continue to go the wrong direction. So is there anybody would like to open up and share about where they want to be health-wise next year and what they might think they have to do to get there?
Luz, go ahead. You can come off from mute.
Hi everyone. So I did write some goals like before coming because I kept thinking about what is it that I want for the new year because I feel like I have a really high sense of awareness of where I am. I know there's improvement that needs to be made. And I've proven to myself that I can stick to something. But I do let emotions or just kind of my inside voices to tell me otherwise. So I know yes, it's a physical, like I have physical goals, but it also ties into mental because I've noticed that doesn't matter what habit I form, I have to work on my identity. So I know that's going to be mixed into my health goals. Like I have physical goals, but like working out, of course, but it's also a mesh of like emotional goals as well because for me or just the body in general, I know that it works together. So it's definitely physical, but a lot more mental for me.
Okay. How are you going to get there?
That's the famous question. So for physical, I mean, I know because I've proven to myself to continue working out, whether that's at home or going to the yoga studio that I go to. I switch it off throughout the week. So usually I go 4 to 5 days, but where I've been very, very stagnant, it's I just search up videos on YouTube. So for me, there's no excuse whether I work out in a studio or I work out at home. Working out at least, 3 to 4 days out of the week would be ideal because I have already done it. I just need to get continuously in the momentum. But then in terms of how I do the mental part of it, I don't really know. I know once you work on your physical body, you also work on your mental simultaneously. So I'm not really sure on that mental part, but physically working out more consistently.
When are you gonna start that?
I've actually been trying trial and error throughout this whole week. So it's kind of been on and off for me. Tomorrow morning, I mean, I'll get right back up. The last time I worked out this week was Tuesday. So it's been a couple of days. So it's a kind of a trial and error for me.
That's okay. That's okay that it was Tuesday and today is Friday. It's all right. We don't have to do it every single day, but we have to have a plan that we're going to do and we have to follow the plan. But I like the idea that you said you're going to start tomorrow. Okay, I was glad you didn't say January 2nd or something like that. Okay.
No, why
Because
wait? That gets me anxious waiting.
every day is a new day. Every day is the beginning of a new year. If you think about it from that perspective, we have a tendency to look at things a little bit different. And most of the time we do that because we're famous for procrastinating. We procrastinate. It's easy to say, I'm going to start here. It's harder to say right now. I'm going to do it right now. Okay. So what you want to do is, yes, tomorrow morning, do some exercises, whether you go and you do the gym or you do it on, look some up on YouTube and do it. I know Patty does that sometimes. She tells me stuff like that. So but tomorrow is the beginning of a new year. Okay. December 16th. A year from now will be December 16th. So it's a new year. Okay. So great. Who else would like to say something? Arlene, did you come off mute to talk?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I'm on my phone, so I can't tell if I'm muted or not. It's weird. For me, what I've noticed lately, and actually, because I've had some pretty like this summer when I fell and I fractured my ankle, and it's like what I figured out is that I do stress eating. Hello. I used to do the opposite when I was younger. When I was stressed, I wouldn't eat, but so now, and so something, recently happened and I noticed like, oh my God, here I go again. And so that's why I'm on this call today to talk about that. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but so I buy that bag of chips, and woof it down. That's my weakness. That's my weakness.
Okay. Tell me
and-
what happens and how you feel after you do that.
I feel gross, just ugh. Like,
Do you get angry with yourself?
I don't get angry with myself. I think so. Something happens. I start feeling sorry for myself. I go to the store. I got to pick out food, walk past that aisle, man. And sometimes I can resist. And when this occurs, when I'm going down this path of starting to feel sorry for myself again, I'm more likely to pick it up, to buy it.
All
So,
right.
so it's that self-talk that I'm not engaged in to talk myself out of it. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens is we get into this mindset of, and I'm going to call it woe is me. Okay.
Yeah.
Woe is
Exactly.
me. Everything is, why does this happen to me? Why? And what happens is we look for food to bring us up. We look for it to give us some satisfaction, some joy. And what we need to use food is food can be for celebration. And if we use it for celebration rather than for the woe is me, we're going to find out that food becomes less of a problem. Okay. Because most of us get into this, oh, darn, things just aren't going right, a whole lot more than we have reason to celebrate. But we all make mistakes. We all get on the wrong track. But what we have to do is get in our mind that when we do it, two things have to happen. Number one, we have to make up for it when we do it. But number two, while you're doing it, and I'd be willing to bet you, and I'll go back to Carlene and ask her, halfway through eating the bag of chips or whatever it might be, I know at some point you just go, what am I doing? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The best thing
Absolutely.
you can do with that
Yep.
right then and there, and your brain kicks in and says, you know what? I should not be doing this. But what happens is we have the bag of chips here.
Yeah.
And we're here and we go, I already bought it. I'll just finish it and then I won't do it again.
And there
The
have been
best
those
thing-
times that I've just closed the bag and thrown it away.
Bingo. That's exactly what I was going to say. You throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
take and you dump it out in the trash and you see that go in the trash where you know you can't touch it again. But two things that happen mentally to us is, number one, we're saying to ourselves, look, I don't need this. Okay. Because if you close a bag and put it on top of the refrigerator or wherever you might put it, you will go back and get it.
Oh, it's
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way the mind works. Okay. The other thing you're realizing is I spent money on something I just dumped in the trash. All right. And a lot of times what happens is that triggers us the next time we go to buy it. We remember, because our mind remembers, we're good at that. That's why when you put your hand on something hot, you remember next time, don't put your hand there. Okay. Because the brain tells you. So if it's, you know what, I just threw money away. The next time you look at that, your brain's going to tell you, last time you threw it away. Why get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
People think that get into these ruts that there's something wrong with them. There is nothing wrong with you. It's the way our society is and what we've done to ourselves. And we just have to retrain the brain, retrain ourselves to think differently. And a lot of times during the holidays, that's the hardest part, because what happens is that's when everybody says, eat, 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 eat. And a lot of times during the holidays, we're not the happiest. Is there anybody would agree with me that a lot of times during the holidays, it's not the best of times? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because of everything going on and family problems and maybe financial problems and spent too much on everything. And then what do? We just say, you know what? Treat myself. And I'm going to go back to Lewis and say, treat yourself to working out. Treat yourself to exercising. Treat yourself to finding somebody that you care about and give them a big, long hug and tell them you just need companionship. Okay. We have to say to ourselves and let other people know that we can't be doing this. All right. Anybody else would like to say something? Nobody?
John, could I say something?
Sure. You're somebody.
Okay, maybe you could discuss a little bit, I've just gone from working all the time, when I stopped working in the summer to now I'm retired. And so I have a lot of time now, and that means I go to the store all the time. I buy this and I buy that, and I feel like it's kind of out of control. And I just wonder if you can talk some about adjusting to being on where you're on a schedule, every minute of your day is filled, and now, not having that on me all the time. And that affects, the eating habits and everything else too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Great question. So basically what you're saying is, because you retired, you're bored. What does boredom do? We look for something to do. So you're trying to fill your time.
Right.
Again, we have to take our mind and we have to say, okay, we know that going to the store, if I go to the store, I'm gonna buy something, okay? And it's probably not the thing I need. All right. So what else can you do with your time? All right. Now, I know you moved to Michigan to be close with family, so you can, take your time to see family. But Carol, you might want to consider volunteering. Volunteer. Find a hospital that needs somebody to sit at the reception desk for a little while, for a couple hours a day. Do, things that you can do, your church, whatever it might be, but you got to find something to fill that void, because you don't work for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, whatever it might have been, and go to work every day, 5 days a week at least, and then take care of family. And then all of a sudden the treadmill stops and you go, what do I do now? Okay. Well, again, people say when you retire, you're supposed to enjoy life. Unfortunately, people believe that enjoying life is to eat bad, do the wrong things. And then what happens? We're older, of course, because that's why we retired. Our immune system isn't as strong as it used to be. And then we're poisoning ourselves with, whether it be the foods or whatever it might be. And then we wonder why. We hear all the time, somebody retired and a year later they were gone. A lot of times they poison themselves. Okay. They didn't adjust. So I would say to you, Carol, it's all about the mind. You have to say, okay, I don't want to work all the time like I did. That's why I retired. But I need something to fill my time that I enjoy. So you need to find something that you would like to do, not something you have to do. You have to want to do it, but to occupy your time to get you away from that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. If somebody has thoughts, let's just throw them out. Maureen, Terry, being you moved to Carolinas, you can still talk to us. We can hear you. Okay. Just kidding. All right. So the other thing about holidays is, and I'm going to go back to food, is that we have to understand that we have to be able to communicate to people about ourselves. How many of you have ever went to a celebration and everybody tells you, you got to eat? Okay, you've got to eat. Come on, eat more. Have more of this. Have some of this. When you know in your heart that you should not be eating it. And I'm not talking about people on a program. I'm talking about everyday life. All right? Everyday life. And we get into this mode of we have to please everybody else at our expense. And what we need to understand is that we only need to take care of ourselves first and foremost. And a way to get around this is this, and I've heard this a million times if I've heard it once over the years. I can't go to mom and dad's house or grandma's house or my best friend's house or my husband or my wife's family's house and not eat because they're going to be offended. Well, if I am a friend of yours and you tell me I can't eat dessert because I'm trying to take care of myself, I eat too much sugar. Once I start eating, I can't stop, and I continually pursue you to eat it. Shame on me. Okay? And shame on the person that I am shaming into eating for not just telling me, stop it. Everybody thinks by feeding you that they're doing you a favor. Unfortunately, most of the time, they're doing damage. We have to learn to stand up for ourselves and love ourselves and say, no, thank you. Now, if you know you're going to go somewhere and there's going to be food that you cannot eat or don't want to eat, you need to let them know ahead of time. Either you're going to bring your own or give them an option. Okay. And that is Sean Allen's on. Okay, good. So, the thing is, we've got to treat ourselves and give ourselves the respect that we would like other people to give us. And that means we've got to say no to people and not eat or drink when we know that it is not in our best interest. So last night we went to a function. It was our payroll company had their year-end thing. They invited clients, and Patty and I went, and actually Kim was there too. But Patty told me before we left that she says, "I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat because I'm not hungry. I'm going to wait till I get home and have something to eat." And I have to respect her because they had a very nice spread.
Mhm.
Okay. And she did not. I did see her eye it a couple times. Okay. I saw the eyes go towards the food, but she was strong enough to say she made a commitment to say, "I'm not eating." And then but we have to learn. And I heard a number of people ask her, "Aren't you going to get something to eat?" Okay. And I don't remember how you answered them, but I did hear.
Right, I said, no, I'm all set.
Yeah.
'Cause I know myself, when it's a buffet. And it was all, I don't even know what was there. I saw hummus, and I know Kim pointed out the fig jam, which I love fig, so I'm glad I didn't see it. If it's something like that, once I start, I'm not gonna stop. Even though they had small plates, I would have kept going back for more. And I know that I didn't need to. Like John said, I said I wasn't hungry. I'm really learning to listen to my body. If I'm not hungry, even though there's something there that I like to eat, I don't need to eat it.
But how did you feel after you left?
I felt fine, felt good.
Emotionally, how'd you feel?
Yeah, I felt great
Why?
that I didn't eat.
Yeah.
Told me, I didn't need to eat, and I didn't. Like John said, it was a beautiful spread, and they were walking around with hot hors d'oeuvres. I don't know, there's some sesame chicken thing, and so when I heard scallops wrapped with bacon, I was like, ooh, and I'm like, nope. So
I will confess, I had 3 shrimp and some hummus with some cracker type thing there.
yeah,
But I didn't make that commitment before I left. But no sweets. I just tell myself no sweets. Okay. Okay. But that's how we need to deal with food, and we need to deal with ourselves. And if we say it, tell yourself you're going to do it. And just like you would want somebody to, if they make a promise to you, then you make the promise to yourself and live up to that promise. Okay. That's what you need to do. And when you go to these type of functions, whether it's family, do not go hungry. Do not go when you're really hungry and say, "I'm not going to eat," because once you're there, you will eat. You got to go there where you are not overly hungry. You've got to go there and having taken your Slenderade with you so that you can take a couple, because your brain will say, "I want," and that's blood sugar. There's little things that you got to do. Drink lots of water. They had an open bar, and I went up and asked for a glass of water. And the lady looked at me and says, "Let me see if I can find water."
yeah.
Okay. But I got a glass of water and sipped on a glass of water. So those are the things you've got to do. And people actually admire people that stick to what they say they're going to do, believe it or not. But everybody wants to say, "Let me give you something. Let me help you here." Okay. And that's how we get into a trouble and a jam. Okay. So what does food and our emotions, and we're going to talk a lot more about this next month, but when I asked Carlene how you feel when you're done, after you eat the stuff that you shouldn't have eaten, she said, "I feel gross." What else was it? Something else. Okay. But anyways, and now you're playing with your mental being, because now you become frustrated. You start doubting yourself. You start telling yourself that you're just foolish, or you're weak, or whatever the case is. And a lot of the times we do this to ourselves. Okay. We do it to ourselves. And as it says on the screen, food creates connection. It does. but sometimes that connection goes way too far. And I tell people all the time, we can enjoy ourselves. I'll go back to last night. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did.
Okay. We can enjoy ourselves without gorging ourselves and not eating the things that we know are our weakness. All right. So if somebody goes to a party, there's alcohol, but they're an recovering alcoholic, for people to say, eat, have a drink is wrong if they know that person. If a person knows they're recovering and they do it anyway to appease people because everybody else is doing it, then it's not a celebration, it's a destruction. And everybody, we all have to be cognizant of when somebody says no, it means no. I don't want to have a drink. I don't want to eat that food. And we have to get in the habit of looking at people and saying, good for you, so that we can do that same things for ourselves. Okay. So what does it mean for our health? Both mental and physical health? It means that we are recovering, that we're looking to take care of ourselves. And if we take care of ourselves, it's much, much easier to take care of other people. Because when we're unhealthy, it is hard to get healthy. I spoke with a lady today. We met her at the show we did last month, and I put her on a 3-month Candida program. And she told me today, she said the first 3 days was awful. She said, I literally thought I was going to die, how bad I felt. And that's because she was so unbelievably unhealthy. Okay, between coffee, between all the sugars and the different things that she was eating and putting in her body was at a point where it was ready to break down. And getting it well is hard. And a lot of people can't maintain that and won't go that direction. So they just keep spiraling downhill. So when we don't do the things, we feel good about ourselves, emotionally we feel better, and obviously physically we feel better.
There you go.
So what are our goals? I want everybody to think about, what are your goals? Okay, so again, I want you to reflect on where you are. Where are you on your health? And if you need to get healthier, you need to act on it. You need to act on it while you're thinking about it. Like everything else, we put it off. We put it off. We put it off. Okay. Where have we been? In other words, how bad have I been? And where are we headed? Am I going the right direction? Okay. Am I like Luz, who's saying, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to exercise tomorrow. Okay. Or are we, well, you know what? New Year's is coming and I got a lot of stuff to do. And I know I'm going to be going places and I'll just wait until whatever. If we're headed that direction, we're heading in the wrong direction. We need to say to ourselves now, that's it. Okay. I am starting to move forward to my goal. And I don't mean weight loss goal. I mean health goal. How healthy? If your joints are hurting, if you've been diagnosed with arthritis, or you've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia or candida, you've got to say to yourself, stop feeding the problem today. Not next week, not next month. I don't care who I'm going to go see. I'm going to take care of myself now. That's where I want you to be thinking, and that's where I want you to be headed. Okay, I'm going to let Patty take this one.
So in the Charles Dickens A Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge gets visited by the three ghosts, and the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come shows him, his grave, grave images of his future, which is, his headstone. And Scrooge, says, no, I'm not the man I was, after he's already seen Christmas present and Christmas past. So Dickens wanted to show people a very real truth. Making necessary changes in their life today leads to a different, better future. So just like John was saying, you don't wait for the future to make your changes. Change now.
Say that again.
Making necessary changes in your life today leads to a different, better future.
So basically, if you start changing today, by January 1st, you are actually in a better, healthier situation. If you wait until January 1st to start doing it, you're in a you're less healthy than you are today. Okay? So when is the future? The future is now. The future is tonight and tomorrow. That's the future. It's not 5 years from now and 10 years from now. It is right now. But the changes that we make today, and we have another saying that's above behind me, whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. So that's kind of falls into that same thing. Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing to be. So if Carlene tomorrow grabs, because something comes up or something's bothering her, etc.
Bag of
I
chips.
know she grabs a bag of chips and starts eating it. She's choosing to do that. She's choosing it. So if she says to somebody, "Oh man, I did that." If I heard it, I'd say, "Well, you chose it. Okay, you chose it, and you have to live with your choices, whether it be our health or anything else. We have to live with it." So, Patty found that, and I thought it was excellent. Okay. Okay. So I want you to think about this now. What does a healthy, insert your name, look like? Okay. What does a healthy John look like? What does a healthy Patty look like? A healthy Heather, etc., etc., etc. What does it look like to you? And how would it make you feel? So then you say, okay, if I'm not as healthy as I want to be, what does that look like? And how much better would I feel if I did the right things and took care of myself and put my body through the process that I need to put it through to get there? Because change is hard. It's hard to be well. It is actually easier to become unhealthy and be unhealthy than it is to get well and stay well. Why? Because of our society. It's easier to have no faith than there is faith, than to have faith. Okay, because we walk through a tunnel and well, whatever happens, happens. I don't care. But if you have faith in what's going to happen or what can happen, you have to take action. So the thing is, we think about what, in other terms, what do I want in my life? What kind of car do I want to drive? What kind of home do I want to have? What do I want to be able to do for my kids? You need to start thinking of that same way about your health. What do I want for me? And how do I want to feel? Do I want to be running to doctors and appointments and all? Or do I want to be able to live my life and feel good? And that's what healthy is. Healthy mind, to think like this and work on it, creates a healthy body and an immune system. So, small things that brings us joy. Okay. So I thought this was interesting. Okay. The smell of grass after it rains. Don't tell me that all of us haven't at one time or another went out after it rained and go, "Oh, I love that smell." Okay.
The smell of freshly baked cookies.
Yeah.
It's the-
They can be healthy cookies too.
yes, they can. But remember, we're talking about the smell. Okay. How about hearing our favorite song on the radio?
Yeah.
You know, you're doing something in the house or you're driving your car and you get that song and it brings back really good memories and you crank it up and you just, or you start singing. I passed Patty on the road and she's just singing away and
Crank it up and sing,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
All right, seeing sunlight shine through the trees.
Yeah,
It's
a
a-
beautiful sight of just God giving us the sunlight, the trees, everything around us, and we think the positivity of it. Okay, the warmth of fresh laundry.
Mm,
Uh,
it's a good
I-
one.
you know, speaking of that, I was in West Hartford today and I printed something off the copier and I picked up the paper and it was warm. I thought, boy, this feels so good. I don't know why. It was just, but it's something that makes you, that warmth makes you feel good. And that brings to the next one.
A long hug from a friend.
Okay.
Or someone, I don't know, a friend today, a client came in and she was frustrated and I said, what's going on with you? And she said, I need an attitude adjustment. And I said, wow, that doesn't sound like you. She's like, well, I just came from a meeting and, people frustrated her. And I said, come here. I said, let's hug it out. So I gave her a nice hug and she really appreciated it.
And speaking of hugs, okay, if you really want to help somebody get through something, a hug, okay? Not telling them what they should have done or how they should feel, but a hug. And when I say a hug, I mean a heart to heart hug. And a real hug is like 15 to 20 seconds, not the side hug. And, okay, it was nice to see you and, that time, but a hug. Why? Because it sends endorphins through the body and it makes people feel that somebody cares for them. We live in a world where it's hard to believe that people really, really care about you. Okay. And a hug shows more than anything else that people care. And that it's an actual fact about hugs. All right. So if you're feeling down, find somebody that will give you that hug. It doesn't have to be your closest friend. It can be virtually anybody that can give you that warmth feeling and saying, I care about you. All right.
You know who gives good hugs?
Who?
Heather.
Heather does, yeah. Yes, you do, Heather.
You guys do too.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we need to concentrate on things that give us joy, the things that give us joy and make us feel good. Okay. Okay. Healthy tips for happiness. Okay. Stress. I know we talk about stress a lot and it's hard to, and people say, but it's there. I can't ignore it. Well, you have to kind of go back to the slide before and look at some of those other things that we talked about. Okay. The smell of grass and just revel in it for a time you can, and quit thinking about that meeting that you were just in that everybody annoyed you, or the family member that doesn't want to participate or thinks you're doing everything wrong, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have to have those moments where you can clear your mind. For me, it's reading scripture every morning. That gets me started in a positive direction. Doesn't mean I'm going to stay positive all day. As Patty, I thought I'd say that before she jumps in, but
Oh, no.
but it helps me get a good start and it takes my mind away from everything else that happened the day before and or might happen that day. So that is my way of just of letting it go. But we have to find what makes it work for us, because there is stress, and I'd be a fool to tell you don't stress, okay? Because that's impossible. But we have to find ways to clear our mind for periods of time. And that's why hugs are good too, because you can't be thinking about how bad things are when you're giving a really good hug to somebody or somebody's giving a really good hug to you. Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Okay. So again, coming to, did you want to talk? Oh, I thought you were going to say something. The difficult days are going to be there. Might be tomorrow, might be next week, it might be next month. I don't know. Or it might be a bunch of them. And we're not going to escape them. They're going to happen. But instead of thinking about how bad it is, just think about the things that you learned and the fact that you went through them, that you made it. If you're going through a stressful time, and Carlene, I'm going to go back to Carlene. She may never speak another class that I keep going back to the person, but I go back to her, if she has a tough period of time and she doesn't take that bag of chips, okay, and she realizes, you know what, I worked through it, I didn't need it, and I came out the other end fine, okay, she's going to be proud of herself, number one, and she's going to learn that she doesn't need those chips or whatever it might have been. You don't need it. Some people it's chips, some people it's ice cream, some people it's whatever it might be. Okay. For me, it was always things like Snickers bar. Okay. I shouldn't say Snicker bar, I should say Snicker bars. Okay. All right. That was my thing. Okay. But once we learn I don't need them, we feel good about ourselves. It's like when we were a kid and we ran in a race and we won and we went, yay. Okay. Even though I might have been racing my sister who couldn't hardly run, right? It still made me feel good. Okay. We need those things that we just know that we were successful. But we have to learn to do it. And then it becomes easier and easier the more we do it. It's like detoxing. Most people, I met with a lady the other day and she said, I don't think I can do 3 days of liquid. She was getting ready to start a program. And I said, of course you can. And she said, you don't understand. I never went a day without eating. Okay. But most of us had. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So forget the mistake, remember the lesson.
Right. That's a good one.
Yes. The other thing is with people, okay, you can't make somebody happy that doesn't want to be happy. You can't make somebody change that doesn't want to change. You can't make people do what you want them to do. All you can do is be there for them. If they push you away and will not accept, you have to just let them go. Okay, so Hippocrates says before you heal someone, ask them if they are willing to give up the things that make them sick. And we do that all the time. My consultations are that. You have to be willing. I think Sean is on, he's down in, I believe, Jamaica. I saw him sign out a bit ago, but, I remember talking to him and his sister referred him and about detoxing. Are you willing to do the things and give up the things that made you feel the way you feel? And we do that all the time. And I want you to start asking yourself that. Am I willing to give up the things that make me feel the way I feel? And if you're not, you'll never get well. And that's in all aspects of our life. Okay. Not just food. It's in all aspects of our life. We have to work at it to make ourselves healthy, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I like this. Go ahead.
So, a little bit earlier, we talked about the sun shining through the trees and the bad days. So sun is always shining. We may not always see it, but it always shines even on the cloudiest days. Sometimes we just need a little help finding its rays. So whether it's finding joy in the little things, like the hug or a good song on the radio, we have to get away from the gloom sometimes, even if we can't see the sun. We've got to do something for ourselves to shake off whatever's bothering us.
And in this area, they're talking about rain on Sunday and Monday. But if you're out in the rain and you're saying, oh, this darn rain, just remember, above those clouds, the sun is shining. And pretty soon, it's going to break through the clouds. So just go through it and realize the rain is wonderful because it fuels our environment. It makes everything grow. And therefore, the sun's going to come out. So, and we need to deal with that with our life. And just realize, you know what? Things are always nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. It's going to change. And a lot of times it's the way we look at it, which direction it's going to change. Okay. So this one, I love this. Okay. In fact, Dr. Nelson, she really likes this too. So I've seen her post this, but 4 things to tell yourself every single day. Now, I mean this every single day. Number 1, I'm a warrior. Okay. I am a warrior. I can do it. I am a winner. And today is my day. Every day is your day. Every day is my day. Every day is going to get better. And the brain is so powerful that the way you feel is the way you are going to become, because your mind will lead you that way. I always tell the story about golfing and learning from people that golf. And for me, I used to always dread being in front of water or something, because I just could not get my mind. I would always say, I'm going to end up in the water, and I would always. And I've been playing with a gentleman who is, he very down to earth and he very helpful. And he just said, that's only 40 yards away. You hit the ball with your driver 200 or 180 yards. It's only 40 yards. Why are you even thinking about 40 yards? You don't hit it 40 yards only. And after putting that in my mind and saying, you know what? You're right. Now it just really doesn't bother me. Okay. But if you think you're going to go wrong, you will go wrong. If you think you're going to be good, you will be good. That's just the way it works. Our mind is that powerful. Somebody said, I have some friends that really need your help. How can I approach them? I can give you some ideas if you talk to me one-on-one. Okay. It's the best way. Or just tell them call, but there are ways to help. Okay.
Okay, so here are some tips to help you. Suggestions, things you can do to just make your life a little better. So maximize natural light exposure. We all need vitamin D. We can supplement it, but if we don't get out in the sunshine when it's there, again, life can be gloomy. So spend time outdoors during the daylight. Open the curtains and the blinds, and stand by the window. Sit your desk by the window if you work from home.
Now, my spiritual mind's going to come here now. Okay. So
Yeah.
what does scripture say? Go to the light.
Mm.
Scripture says that. Go to the light. Get out of the darkness. And so there's a lot of meaning there. Okay. For those of you who read scripture, if you don't, you might want to try it. Okay. Because a lot of stuff we're talking about deals with our spiritual life as well. Go to the light. Stay active. Okay. Hit the nail on the head. Okay. Incorporate exercise. Doesn't have to be every day. In fact, you do need to take some days off to rest. Okay. But it doesn't have to be going to the gym or investing in lots and lots of equipment. Okay. Brisk walk. Okay. A gym session, home workout like Patty does and Lou's mentioned. But you got to stay active. Okay. If you go home and you plop down the couch, you're probably going to stay there the rest of the evening until it's time to eat. Then you eat, and then you plop back down on the couch. Okay. I've been there, done that, got a t-shirt that says that. Okay. So believe me, I know. So you just got to understand activity, whether it's a mind, even reading. Okay. A lot of times when Patty's off or something and I need something, I'll call her. She's on summertime. She's on her deck. I'm reading a book. I'm doing this. Stay active, whether it's mentally, physically, both. That's so important. Okay. Keep the mind working, keep the body flexible and working.
Dancing around the kitchen. I do it all the time.
I'd like to see that. Would you videotape that so we can show it?
Oh, sure.
Okay. And of course, the diet. Okay. The diet. The most important thing that we do for health and well-being is what we put in our body. I can't stress that enough. We have to get the nutrients, the omegas. We have to get the hydration. We have to eat the right foods, which we call the legal foods or the superfoods. We have to do it not once in a while, not when we just don't feel good, not when somebody's looking, all the time. We really need to concentrate. Now, we all know that there's going to be times when you are going to eat something or have a dinner that's not what we call top of the line. We all do it. but then you make up for it. You understand that was just a one time, not drag it out. Okay, so food, food, food. We're going to eat. So as long as we're doing it, let's do it to make ourselves stronger, feel better, and look better.
Okay, so socialize and seek support. They connect with family and friends, even if it's virtually, a phone call. You know, it doesn't have to be in person all the time. You know, call someone that you haven't talked to in a while. If you're feeling down and you've got a friend who has always lifted you up, call them. You know, just reach out to people, share your feelings, maybe joining a support group. Like making those lifestyle changes, you know, call us, we're here to support. You know, people, when you're going through a program or even post-program, you know, clients are just struggling with something, they call. John gets texts all the time, his phone's dinging over here, you know, during class tonight. Other things that you can do is our evox. It's part of the Zyto. So the evox helps you change your perception of something. Okay, it scans your body for affirmation statements, and then you focus on the one that is affecting you the most. And you're gonna spend, you know, maybe a good hour with John. John did 2 evoxes just the other day, and both clients are on here tonight, and you know, they cleared whatever that statement that was bothering them. I don't know, I don't even think they were both in here an hour. So it makes you be open-minded and change your thinking about things.
And one of them said, "You got that stuff from my hand?" Yes, we did. Your mind. It's all about the mind. So work on your mind. Don't forget your mind.
Okay,
Okay. Let's not be a train wreck.
no, it's not. That's a good one, it's over there. It's not this paper.
Oh, okay. So the train. I want to, actually Patty found this, but I read it and I'm gonna, that was really apropos, okay? It's called The Train. And I hope you listen to this through and just think as I'm reading it. At birth, we boarded the train and met our parents, and we believe they will always travel by our side. As time goes by, other people will board the train, and they will be significant. Examples are siblings, friends, children, strangers, and even the love of your life. However, at some station, our parents will step down from the train, leaving us on this journey alone. Others will step down over time and leave a permanent vacuum. Some, however, will go so unnoticed that we don't realize they vacated their seats. This train ride will be full of joy, sorrow, fantasy, expectations, hellos, goodbyes, and farewells. Success consists of having a good relationship with all the passengers, requiring that we give the best of ourselves. The mystery to everyone is, we do not know at which station we ourselves will step down. So we must live the best way, love, forgive, and offer the best of who we are. It is important to do this because when the time comes for us to step down and leave our seat empty, we should leave behind beautiful memories for those who will continue to travel on the train of life. And I and we together wish you a joyful journey for the coming years on your train of life. Reap success, give lots of love, and be happy. More importantly, thank God for the journey. And lastly, I personally want to thank each and every one of you for being a passenger on my train.
Mm.
Thank you for being there for me. And always know that I or we, in the corporate sense, want to be here for you. And we talked earlier about reaching out. Please reach out. If you need to talk, you just need an ear to listen. If you need a hug, we're here. And I promise you that as long as I'm on this train of life, I will promise you that. Thank you.
Anybody need a tissue? Oops, sorry.
Okay. So, however you're feeling, what direction you want to go, schedule your Zytoscan, schedule an e-box, schedule a consultation, talk to us, talk to somebody. But please, pick the path of wellness. Pick the path forward. Don't look back. It doesn't matter what we've done and how many bags of chips we ate or whatever it might have been. It doesn't matter now. That's past. Okay? The windshield is so much larger than the rear view mirror. Let's look forward. But we need to start looking forward now, today, right away. Don't put it off. Don't think there's a new year coming, because the new year is right now. It is a new year. Every moment is new. Okay? So I want all of you to understand that. Take care. And just know that you are loved by the people that are on here with you, by us, and we feel that coming from you, believe it or not.
Again, here's our community. You need to reach out, join our community Facebook page. It's a private page. It's not our regular corporate page. So no judgment zone. You need some support. You want to reach out. You'll get answers. So think about that if you're not already participating.
Remember, if you're eating a lot over this holiday season, whatever you might be celebrating, that last slide showed it all. 95% of all disease starts in the gut. So the best way to take care of your gut is to put the right food in. Okay. Questions, thoughts? I'm opening up for discussion. Again, everybody wants to talk at once.
I was actually one of the people who did the evox that John mentioned earlier. And the system, if you've never done it before, the system gives you some options about areas in your life that it perceives that you need help with. And you get to choose the thing that you want to work on the most. And I was deathly afraid of doing that the first time. I have no idea why. I just figured it was going to tell me I was a complete crazy, mess. And at the time when I did my first one, I actually was. So don't be afraid of it. It actually does sort of make you think internally about things that you may not recognize are affecting your life. So.
But remember, most of us are a mess. Okay? We all are, believe me. Okay? So when people think that way, and I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people are afraid of it, but you got to open up the mind. You got to clear the cobwebs. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna do our drawings. You got to be on to win. Okay. Normally I do my 4 drawings. Okay. So we're gonna draw. The first one is $100 gift certificate.